trying to talk to us.
No, that was on purpose. That was on purpose. What else is on purpose? This podcast is on purpose. Welcome to the SideQuest, your weekly journey into the wonderful world of video games, video game culture, and we, the geeks that love to engage in that culture and with each other. I'm one of the few folks here at SideQuesting.com, the few and the many. Dolly Demofsky joining me, the always lovely JJ Holder, Double J. making his return appearance, our friend Virender.
Thank you very much for having me again.
You know what?
Such short notice too.
No, that's fine. Here's how things are gonna go. Ready? You're so cool.
Oh,
you're getting top billing. Look at that.
Top billing. Look at that.
Top billing. It's funny because the last time you were on the show, we had a slew of people replying in the Discord in the comments for like, I don't know who New Guy is, but we like New Guy. And there you go, right? Yeah, New Guy. We like New Guy better than the rest of the
Yeah, New Guy.
Oh, goodness gracious. Well, welcome back. It's always great. You're gonna have a really cool thing to talk about, and we're always having cool stuff to talk about. And Zach's gonna have something cool to talk about. Hopefully, when his NVIDIA broadcast finishes rebooting his computer there. But first of all, hey, hope you guys are having a great week. Hope everything's been good for the both of you.
Oh, it's been great.
Yeah, it's been pretty good.
Yeah.
More tariff news.
Yeah. Woo! Yeah, that's
press
fun.
conferences like every day now.
Yeah, I know. I'm actually glued to them more often because my full-time gig is in the automotive industry. So yeah, it ain't fun. It ain't fun right now. No, well, at least you guys are alive, and that's kind of that's what matters to me most. You guys are alive and somewhat healthy, and that's important. You can find us again for those that are just joining us. This is SideQuesting's podcast. Find us at SideQuesting.com, SideQuesting TV over at YouTube and Twitch. It's actually good to. I'm reading more about this. It's good to get that set ahead of time. That way, for whatever reason, when whatever the algorithm does, it finds us and pings us better. And that's always a good thing. And hop into the Discord, by the way, because a lot of cool Discord people. You can even hop into Discord and join our Patreon because stuff is getting pretty expensive these days. If you don't know, the tariffs are wrecking us. Definitely want to thank the folks who are already part of our Patreon, the executives, Tom Johnson and Punk Defied. Thank you. Both of you are wonderful. You're executive level. I will give you hugs whenever I see you guys again. Hope you both liked your the special Christmas cards. If you're executive level, you get a hand-drawn Christmas card from yours.
Yeah.
Wow.
I didn't even get a Christmas
New Guy.
card.
That's true. Yep. Oh, New Guy's already more popular than everybody else, as you should be, because the rest of us kind of suck. No, just kidding. And then thank you to our producers, Stefan Swanlin, Zero the Prototype, Exaginous, and Jeff Grubb. You guys are wonderful. Thank you again. Thank you to everybody else. Even if you're just waving at us, that's always also helpful. So
we need to actually get promote the Patreon.
Yeah, we should. Well, we're gonna set up it's gonna be a fun week. We're gonna have, maybe we'll do some Patreon stuff. We didn't ask a question in the Patreon section of Discord this week. Whatever. We'll do some fun stuff this week with the launch of the Switch 2, which we'll get in here in a little bit. Maybe we'll set up a game night like we keep talking about doing. That'd be a lot of fun. Yeah. I think you and Johnny had some cool ideas for games to play, so we'll set that up. That'll be good just for the Patreon folk to join in. But let's get into some of the news. It ended up being a busier week than many of us wanted to, or maybe we're prepared for. A lot of stuff actually happened. What's that? Yeah.
So mostly specifically from one particular company.
Yeah, it seemed like it from one company. I'm gonna start. Obviously, there was a Nintendo Direct this week. Nintendo, being the craziest company on the planet, at the last second was like, you know what? We're gonna do one more Direct less than a week before the Switch 2, because why not? Why not? So they did, and they had quite a few things actually. And my daughter especially was totally excited about a couple of these.
Yeah, there were 4 or 5 things where it made me go.
Yeah. This first one, she wasn't really excited about this one, but I was. Metroid Prime 4 with you got was it Control? I forget what the pose is, but Samus has psychic powers now, which
Yeah.
is pretty cool.
Metroid Prime Psyops. Love it.
Yes. We did not get a date. We just got 2025, and I'm of the thought that we're gonna find out what that date is next week, and it'll be launch day and date for the Switch 2.
Yeah.
Because look how cool this looks. It looks like concept art. Like it's got that sort of weird multi-layered hand drawn, hand painted thing that they're doing, which looks way too good for a regular Switch game.
When they zoom in on her suit, it's just like, man, this
there's magic going on there. But yeah, they showed this off, and the big new hook is the psychic powers, which is it's probably the biggest change to the series I can think about it, apart from going in the first person mode here. I kind of hope that this is how they address Samus, quote unquote, losing powers, where she doesn't lose like her basic blaster, her grappling hook or whatever. She just starts gaining the psychic powers along the way. That way you're just kind of gaining new stuff and you keep the old stuff, and how you modify and use the old stuff, I think could be. I'm just
the part where they show her in the trailer using the psychic powers to bend her blasts, like it's that movie Wanted.
Yes, right.
Like, she's Angelina Jolie. And
Samus Jolie. I mean, it looks great. I mean, it's the best looking Switch game right away. If this is the Switch we're looking at. So yeah, that was cool. I was pretty stoked about this one, especially. And then it was interesting because they showed off Dragon Quest, which I am a huge fan of Dragon Quest. I'm like, one of my favorite games of there you go. There's psychic stuff right there. One of my favorite games of 2024 was Dragon Quest. Dragon Quest 3. And so having, we knew 1 and 2 remake was on the way. I'm just super psyched for it because it's more of the same. They're not perfect games by any means, because they are some of the original, turn-based RPGs of the era, but because they're so basic in their design, their form, they actually hold up really well. Like they are, they're the kind, there was that era of the certain parts of the NES and the Super NES that you can go back to these games and they still look and feel good, and they play exactly like how you remember them because they're not doing anything ultra special. So I am looking forward to this one. For this dude right here who blasted through Dragon Quest 3 HD in record time and replayed it. I actually played it twice since it released. The fact that they're adding in an extra character at the very end.
Right? I was I was shook at because I only a few years ago I played and beat the first one.
Okay.
And then I never played them before that.
Okay.
And then I went maybe halfway through the second one.
Yeah, the second one has issues. Yeah.
Yeah, which is okay, but I really was engaged with that game, and the way the writing is your main character dodged, the way it does that, way the writing does that is very ahead of its time in a sense, but it's also oh wow, you gotta, the way it's written and the way it's laid out, I was kind of blown away, and I was playing it for the first time, the Game Boy Color version.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, that's a good version actually.
Yeah, it's the double. I think.
Yes,
it's the double
I have that one as well. Yeah.
Yeah. I did see that for the second game. It looks like they're adding a lot more to the story.
Yeah.
From the trailer, they showed off a lot more to the story.
Right. Which is cool because that game, did they show the extra dude here? I don't know if they showed. Yeah, there he is.
They showed in the
there real briefly.
Girl. Yeah.
Right there. Okay. Who is? Oh, there's the extra character. Who's this new character? I don't know. I am wondering if this character ties into Erdrick, Lodo, in some way. Because I think they kind of have to. So, expanding the story is great. The first two games really weren't that long. The first game you can knock out in 6 hours if you really try. Second game is probably maybe 20 if you're really kind of stretching some things. The third game, obviously, a lot more, and so putting both them together into one package is like, yeah, you're only getting like maybe 25 to 30 hours worth of time. How can you improve upon that? And they are. It definitely looks like they're, like you said, they're adding some new story bits, beautiful cutscenes as usual. And they made a point to mention that this is the 6th HD 2D game thus far, so that's good. Like, is the 6th one? Yeah, sounds good. I own all 6, or I own all the 5 beforehand. But yeah, no, I'm stoked with this one. I still want them to. I know they've released the pixel remasters of the Final Fantasy games, but now I kind of want those to be like, give me HD 2D versions of those. As well.
Absolutely.
Like I would rebuy them yet again.
I always want to get. I kind of want the pixel remaster, like the physical edition, just to have it. But it's like, that thing never drops below $40.
No, and it does not.
I am not spending that.
They showcased a bunch of other games. There's Patapon 1 and 2.
Yeah.
1+2, which is awesome. It's like, cool.
Yeah, I thought that was so interesting because that's a Sony. I wonder what the copyright stuff there, because that's from Sony. So that and Hot Shots Golf are like big changes. And
Bandai Namco is publishing them, which is crazy because we've now seen Bandai Namco become the here, I'll just kind of play this video here. They're sort of the publisher for get the audio out there, for these types of games that they end up kind of hopping across platforms over time, right? So like we've seen them do that a few times with the Baten Kaidos games. And now they're doing it with this. And so it is interesting to see Sony's game,
because Sony,
and you can see right there, by the way, it says licensed by Sony Interactive.
Yeah. So I guess Patapon is just kind of a dead franchise. So I guess like, it doesn't really like, because like even if you go to like the Steam page, Sony's name doesn't really appear anywhere. It's like published by, and then like the developer is somebody that I don't recognize. But their developer, what is it? Like
I don't remember.
SAS Company Limited. It's like it's like whatever that is.
I mean, it was back on the early PSP days.
Really
early. I do with that. I'm just like, it's now on where it should be, like console wise, but I don't know how much. Like there are some quality of life changes. There's difficulty changes as well. They're adding, but I recently played it on the PSN, and I'm like, should I like? Is there an incentive to just play the new one?
Sure.
Yeah, but it is on the like perfect sort of console, and like the Hot Shots, I thought that stuff was interesting because like I think we can get more Patapon games if the replay stuff does very well. I thought
also, I'm glad you're in the same camp as me. I will not call it Everybody's Golf. It will always be Hot Shots.
Well, this is called Everybody's Golf Hot Shots, right? Is that what it's called, or is that what it's called in Japan? Is Everybody's Golf Hot Shots?
Yeah, I think it's got a different title here.
I also thought there was like interesting copyright stuff just in general this time with like these three games for Sony, but then Monument Valley surprised me because Netflix Games owns that. Like after they got the rights, they were like, we're exclusively bringing Monument Valley 3 only to the Netflix application, nowhere else. And now, it's only been a few months since 3 came out. Now they're bringing it all to Switch. So I'm just like,
I think most people kind of look at it and realize it's like, boy, we really are just leaving money on the table, huh? So
it's definitely happening more and more.
Because I think the thing is that everyone, it's just like the olden days where it's like the Nintendo thing is its own thing. It's like, it's not really, its numbers are always going to be its numbers. It's not going to cannibalize the Netflix market, and it's not going to cannibalize an Xbox market or whatever. So who cares? Just put it on this Nintendo system.
Yeah.
It's always...
Speaking of these kind of quirky games, Rhythm Heaven, it's back. This was the only time that. So it's funny. I saw Wario 64 seemed to lose his mind.
Oh yeah,
because he went all caps for the first time I've ever. Yeah. He's like, the Rhythm Heaven. It was hilarious. I'm like, okay, dude is a fan. Good. Good for him. But Rhythm Heaven is back finally. Like you could. It's been so long since was it 10, how long has it been? Like
they had 2 games and that's it. One on DS and then there's one on Wii.
Okay.
And then so at least 15...
it was like a Rhythm Heaven. And there might have been.
There was a third one, which was like the All-Stars.
Like a mini.
Yeah, it was like the greatest hits, like the Mario Party 100 kind of thing, where it's just a little bit of everything.
But it's been forever. It's been forever. Yeah.
These games are so cool because they're so straightforward, but so hard.
Yeah.
Like they're like you have to actually have rhythm to like get through these.
To get into heaven. Yeah.
You can't just kind of fake your way through it like a Guitar Hero or like Elite Beat Agents or whatever it was back in the day. Like you kind of actually have to have a groove with these games. I love them.
It's great. It's so cool. Like it's just something that like it's definitely the end of the Switch, the lifespan. Even this one's 2026, which to me is very wild. It's so freaking far away. But they're definitely this is definitely the end of the Switch. But I feel like part of me feels like they've just held this for so long, like it
but like then why 2026?
Yeah, then why 2026? We can get into that a little bit later, I guess. I don't know. But then, then we also have another game coming out in 2026. This is the one that my daughter freaking lost her mind over because she's been waiting for Tomodachi Life. Yeah. And just the insanity of this, trailer. I love Tomodachi Life. I don't know if you guys played it for the 3DS. It's just so freaking good. Yeah. Because of the crazy things that happen on the 3DS version. It's actually an incredibly well-written game, like this game, because of what these characters do. I mean, you have a breakdancing grandpa. I mean, it really could be any character, right, that starts breakdancing. But it's like
one of my favorite parts of Tomodachi Life was the 3DS one was the like writing the songs and having them perform it and sing it and trying to get around the censors at the same time. Like what's the most awful thing I can make this me sing about?
Yep.
Yeah.
I was my wife and I had my wife in the game. This was crazy. Yeah. I had my wife in the game and we had our child in the game. So I named her my daughter's name. Like, this is cool. My daughter grew up eventually and left us. And I'm like, well, that made me feel kind of sad in a weird way, But my actual daughter loves this game because of all it's the most meme friendly game on Nintendo's docket.
They knew what they were doing with that trailer. Like,
yes.
Boy, so they make it look as Animal Crossing as possible from that first scene, and then
and it's not that kind of game at all, right? It's more of it's like you're more observing. You're playing God on this island. You're kind of poking people in a direction. Yeah.
It's sort of what like the OG Sims was like, where it's like there's really not much of a game here, but you just make the game what it is. The difference is the original Sims is actually a very difficult game, and this is not.
Okay. You played the remaster of the original yet? Or no?
I started playing the first one, but then I remembered that the first one is the bad one, and Sims 2 is actually the good one.
Yeah. So there you go. This, and then there was one more announcement that I wanted to bring up out of that one, and that's obviously the one for JJ and I, especially Marvel Cosmic Invasion. We're big fans of this genre. Obviously it's the Shredder's Revenge folks. It's the folks. with .emu, .emu, and they're just great. What I love that they did, tribute. What I love that they did with this is that it looks like they understood where some of the better animations for the characters were, because some of the stuff looked like it came from Marvel versus Capcom, like in a weird way, you know.
Well, it's cool because it also has the like when they actually go into gameplay mode, the aesthetic looks so much like that Captain America arcade game. In the 90s, that was like on the Genesis and also and stuff too. But
I was glad they showed different characters, like seeing Nova in 16-bit is like that's so wild. That's never happened, really.
Because, the Captain America game was Captain America, Hawkeye, White Vision, and I forget who the fourth.
Oh, it's right there, the White Vision there. Yeah.
They did show 7 characters, and there's 8 more. There's 8.
And this is this holiday season, I think, or later this year, whatever that is. So I'm so excited. And the hook with this one
is 100% just the Marvel versus Capcom.
Oh
like, they're not even not making it that. Like it's clearly.
I like the hook in that it's like you can do a hot swap between the different characters. So that's pretty dope. That's pretty cool. Yeah, bring it. I like that the 5 is actually just the 2 flipped around there.
Yeah,
interesting. Very
and
interesting.
I like Annihilus. So
I've
always been a killer because like that's the Annihilation storyline is like iconic. It's where we get the Guardians of the Galaxy from, kind of thing. Annihilus has always been just sort of a cool cosmic villain that they don't really even Marvel doesn't use that often.
No, not nearly enough.
So.
I like that they're steering away as much as they can from the MCU, because I know like Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite was such a shit show because it was so focused on just like MCU stuff that it didn't have any X-Men characters and
and now they don't have to worry about it at all. So it's they're luckily Disney and Marvel have sort of figured out that the movies and the comics don't benefit one another in any way, shape, or form. The movies do not increase comic sales, and the comics do not increase movie tickets. So they just like, all right, everyone just gets to do their own thing now. It's just
I also
games
do think
can just be games.
I also do think like the game's coming off like the presses of how good X-Men 97 was and how great that was. Because like if development started right then that makes total sense.
I think that one more than anything is helping this, because it does have that kind of that era, right, of gaming, and that era is hot right now. I mean, like I said, Shredder's Revenge, the Ninja Turtle collection, you have Power Rangers. So it's cool. I'm pretty stoked about this. One last little bit of Nintendo news that, or a couple really. Nintendo released their app, right? They have this new app, which is pretty. I don't know if you guys have been using it. I downloaded it. I logged in. It's their way to get out of Twitter, which hey, I no longer check Twitter, and the only reason I still had Twitter was 2 reasons, really. One, so that some dingus doesn't take my name, and the other one was so I had Nintendo's tweets turned on just in case they had like direct news or Switch news. And that was it. Like Xbox and PlayStation are on in some ways on Blue Sky and other places. So, and now you have the actual app. So I'm like, all right, I can finally divest myself fully off of Twitter.
It's actually really impressive the stuff that they have in because like it tells you when new music was added to the music app. It tells you what was added to the Nintendo Switch Online. It shows you what events are in like Splatoon,
in all the games,
or
like even
every
like
game that has an event mode,
even like the mobile ones, right?
And it has like the live things that they're doing, like the Switch things. You can set up alerts for those things and stuff. It's
cool.
And it's all back cataloged too, so you can go back a couple of months and look at stuff that they've used. It's actually useful for
it's surprisingly full featured, right?
I brought it up and it's yesterday and it showed that they added the Nobunaga's Ambition to the Nintendo Switch. I was like, oh shit, I forgot about that.
I forgot about that too. Well, today not only did they are continuing the countdown for the Switch 2 reveal, which is pretty cool, and they accidentally blew the C button on the if you go into the App Store. It's like, oh, it is a C button. Now everyone's got these ideas. But they also revealed, hey, we got a release date for the Legend of Zelda movie. Yeah. So this is, instead of Twitter, this is where we're going to be finding out stuff. So yeah, the live action film for Legend of Zelda is going to be released worldwide. That's 2 years. That's less than 2 years.
And we don't know actors. We don't know anything else.
Yeah. Timothy Chalamet. But no, as Epona. No. But no, right. There's, we don't know anything about this. I'm assuming, though, that we'll probably be hearing, it'll be pretty fast and furious that we'll be hearing stuff about this. It's also interesting because we know the next Mario movie is coming next year. So they're going to have 2 consecutive years around this time frame, like March, April, of big movies that are coming out. So I actually wasn't expecting 2027. I was thinking more 2028 because Nintendo likes to take their time. But hey, you know what? 2027, I'll take it. Like you said, we don't know anything about it other than the dude.
The thing about it is, like, if this is going to be a soundstage movie, it's not like they need to take to the streets, so there's not going to be a whole lot of paparazzi stuff.
Right.
So who the hell knows what's been going on behind the scenes for this movie for so long? Because it's locked behind doors at Universal lot somewhere.
Sure. Yeah, it's just wild. We don't know who's in it. We don't know who is in it. We don't know anything about this. Plot-wise, JJ, you and I were kind of chatting about this a little bit in the Discord. Like, what's the plot going to be?
Yeah, it's funny because, like, you can't base it on the NES game because there is no plot, really. It's just Princess gone.
But I think they will.
But they won't.
I need some like subversive, and interesting, like the Lego movie shit. I mean,
like even the Mario and even the Illumination Mario movie. Like,
that was that's just like product placement of the movie, and that
it was. Go ahead. Sorry, JJ.
No, I was gonna say it tried to be subversive of the Mario plot in every turn that it could do, but it never really played off. I don't hate the movie, but I also don't think it's a great movie.
No, it's not a great movie.
I think at one of our panels you had it as a 7 out of 10.
Yeah, I had a 7 out of 10 because it was more of a summary of what Mario is, just animated, right? That's kind of what, and I have a feel. My fear is that this is what the Zelda movie is going to be. It's going to be a summary of what Zelda is, just live action.
Because that's what I say. Like, it's probably just going to be its own thing in general, just like a damsel in distress movie without trying to take any specifics from a Zelda game, because I guess I mean, like, that's what the first game is, but like you can't really say it's based off of the first game because the first game doesn't have a plot. It's just a princess kidnapped. You're a young boy that gets thrown into this world lost.
I'd love for them to do something with the second one.
It's
hard.
Yeah.
Like, the first Zelda in the first game isn't even like the first one. Like, the second one that's where the curse started. The Shadow Link stuff is like from that one. Like, there's a lot of good ground they can do with that. I just want them to try something so different. Sorry.
And like the two main ones that you would sort of that have like the most plot of like that for movie wise are Link to the Past and Ocarina of Time, and both of those are just weird, sort of like how movies are made now. They're multiverse style, time travel, different realms, different universes, kinds of things, and that's off the deep end really fast.
I'd love the Link to the Past stuff from not the Dark World. Maybe there's a slight little Dark World tickle at the end. You know, that's where Ganondorf is situated, but.
They just go straight for the Minish Cap. They just make a Minish Cap.
They just go straight to the Minish Cap.
I mean, first little tease with like Link turning into a bunny. And
there you go. And then we'll get the Smash Brothers movie later.
The Avengers version. We get the Zelda movie. We get the Mario movie. We're gonna get
an animated Mario, a live action Link. That will be cool. We got Detective Pikachu. We're almost there. Got Mario Kart. Yeah, and we got. I mean, that was it for the Nintendo stuff. I'm just gonna kind of stop it at that point.
I guess Zach died. I don't know what happened.
I don't know what happened to him.
That he left.
He's trying to install something.
We were doing today because he couldn't do it yesterday, and now.
And then Vierender was kind enough to like redo some of his timing too. So get everything going in line, and
it's always something with that guy.
Always something with that guy.
We love him, so we get to tease him.
We love him. It's right.
Yeah,
we pick on our little brothers all the time. But and there were other little news breaks here and there. Obviously, we got the confirmation that Indiana Jones is coming to PS5 in April. So I think you got Forza and Indiana Jones in April on PS5. Both of them within a couple weeks of each other.
And then Days Gone remaster.
Oh, that's right. The Days Gone remaster is April as well. Yeah, I'm very curious to see what Sony has the rest of this year. I know, like Jeff Grubb, hi Jeff. Jeff has been talking about some kind of side, like a Greek God of War side story thing that could be announced here. Soon. There's I don't know what else Sony has though. So hopefully we'll find out.
Last of Us 2, the TV series. That's
there you go. Yeah. They have the Horizon remaster, right? Is that what the?
They have they're going hard on Horizon with they have a show or a film.
Yeah, there was some.
They have extra multimedia stuff happening.
Okay.
That's the future of Sony Entertainment. They're gonna start. Last of Us was a hit, so it's time to leverage that into it's the Disney method of this is a hit. How can we turn it into a theme park attraction? And
I'm waiting for that Ape Escape movie though. Would be great.
There you go. Oh, that would rule. Give me the Patapon movie. We just talked about it.
Cameo.
Yeah.
Delta is multi-platform, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it has the Ape Escape stuff in it. So.
Lovely.
You didn't put into the news section that Cristiano Ronaldo was announced for Fatal Fury, City of the Wolves?
Yeah, they finally revealed.
They finally revealed.
What was the link that we had put together? It's like you were saying it. Yes.
No. SNK is owned by the Saudi government, and Ronaldo plays for the Saudi league. So
he's the biggest star there.
Star in Saudi Arabia. So of course they leveraged that to get him to.
It's like, hey, you want more money? We want more exposure of you. So let's get this going.
So let's have the self-confessed rapist in the.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
The fighting
well, let's get into some of the games that we've been playing. We have since you're the returning guest, I'm going to let you go first. And
I could have went last. That would have been fine.
Yeah, the problem is you going first and you going last are going to be relatively the same thing because I've been playing the same things for the last 3 weeks.
We'll blast through ours. JJ, what have you been playing?
I've been playing WWE 2K25, Pokemon Red.
Pokemon Red.
Nice. Yeah. What are you playing it on?
Game
Red. The actual Game Boy, or are you playing?
Game Boy. Actual
Game
Boy.
I didn't know if you had like a modified version or.
I mean, I put a new IPS screen in my original DMG, the old brick Game Boy. So it's like a crisp.
It's hot. So nice looking.
Yeah, it's great. So that's what I've been playing it on old OG hardware in black and white.
That's so nice.
How far are you? What are you using for your league team?
I'm figuring things out. I don't really have. This one's just a nostalgia kick. It's just like I'm gonna have my. I'm gonna do my OG run where it's just like I got my Pidgeot for flight.
Nice.
I got my chart. I'm a Charmeleon. He's not at Charizard yet. It's like, it's like Gyarados. Of course, I caught that. They practically hand you Gyarados, so let's go.
Yeah.
I forgot how slow that game is. Like you need.
Oh, really?
I mean, physically to play. Like it's just like it's like you don't have running shoes. You only get speed once you get the bike voucher. So it's like it's brutal the first like several cities in that game, but I still love it. There's a reason why I have a tattoo, you know. It's there. I got my boy Gengar over there at all times, ready to go. So yeah. I also have the Japanese red as well. Like,
okay.
Which is fun because it's before they changed anything, so the sprites are all different. You can't understand a thing, but I've played it enough, and it's kind of interesting to see the things that kind of got fixed when it came to America. There's some weird stuff that happens in that game. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Wrestling Empire as well, which is the greatest wrestling game ever made.
Nice.
If you've never seen it.
I'm
WrestlePilled.
Yeah.
I'm WrestlePilled right now. It's like that's kind of
very
where
WrestlePilled.
It's WrestleMania season, baby. I am
True.
My brain is consuming nothing but professional wrestling at this particular moment. So video games have sort of taken a backseat as I'm watching old WCW shows from 1998. So
as for me, I am still juggling Xenoblade Chronicles 3 and Xenoblade Chronicles X, and finding both them to be two definitely different experiences, plot-wise, character development-wise, even battle-wise. And I'm learning how to do the farming part of Chronicles X. I saw somebody post that they have it set up with a fan, or if you had just a turbo button, you could do it too. But they had their rubber band on around the thumbstick tied to a fan, so that the fan is just moving the thumbstick around a little bit, so that your character can. So there's like a whole farming thing, like
it's how you hatch eggs in Pokemon. You just
exactly So they're doing it with Xenoblade. You're hatching some type of a cache. So. I'm gonna start doing that as soon as I get enough of. The problem is I'm playing 3 for the plot, and the 3 is just so freaking long plot wise that you go back to X, and X is like obviously it's like a series of missions. You're really just sort of helping build up this colony. Yes, there's a plot, but it's definitely more mission based, and so they play a little bit differently. I love both of them. I love every Xenoblade game. I think it's probably my third favorite RPG series now, behind like Dragon Quest and Final Fantasy. But I've got to finish 3, but I'm enjoying it so much.
How long have you been playing 3 for at this point?
No, I only started like maybe a month and a half ago. Okay. And I think I may have mentioned to you before, Virander. Definitely the rest of the team knows this. I get sucked into side quests so quickly. Like if there is a shiny object in the off in the distance, I'm gonna go get it, even if it means nothing. It may be something that auto spawns, and that's what happened to me in Chronicles X as I was playing recently. Like
that's why you liked my guides so much.
Yeah, I like your guides. Yeah, totally. And so, like, if something auto spawns, I'm gonna go back for it. And auto spawned again. It auto spawned again. I'm just gonna keep going back, and I just wasted 45 minutes when I could have gotten to the next big story point. I have just auto spawned, whatever. So I get caught up in this. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's OCD or what. Like, I don't like having a map with stuff on it. I want a completely clear map. No exclamation points or question marks. No, the only thing that's on there are the points that I visited that I can fast travel to. Like, that's it. That's all I want. So, it's your map is handy. Your guide is handy. So that's what I've been playing. And then I have been playing a game that I got a review code for. I don't remember the name of it. They gave it to me on Switch. It's an online multiplayer FPS thing.
What the Switch is best known for.
Right. No, it's like it's definitely like a team of like 2 people, maybe 1 person. I don't even know. It game's out. I don't know. I think it's been out on PC don't remember the name of it. That's what this game is all about. Don't remember anything about this game. It looks like a late 80s, early 90s FPS shooter. Like that was their whole point, their whole like direction. I'll talk about it next time. I'm not loving it. I'll just say that I'm not loving it. So, and that's what I've been playing. Apart from Pokemon Pocket, the card game Pocket, I'm definitely enjoying Pokemon Card Game Pocket. I'm getting a good meta now with my some of my EXs in my build. So You can definitely tell when you go up against someone and they're not ready for you to use what is it? It's my green deck with hold on, here we go. My Celebi X deck. When you go up against someone who is not prepared for you to just unleash with Snivy and up to Superior, and then you got Celebi, it's just like they are not ready for you to have 26 hits in a row or whatever it is. So yeah, it's always great to surprise people when they're like, "Oh, you've only put 2 on there." It's like, "No, I got 4, dude. Get ready." So it's just unfortunate that the coins they're definitely weighted more to be tails than they are heads. Like it's more tails than it is heads, unless you want to go second, which you do want to go second in the game. At that point, it's always heads. You're always going first, and you hate it because you can't put the energy on it. So, whatevs. I do enjoy it. It's nothing crazy. I do like they got like ranked battles now.
Yeah, I was just about to say.
Yeah.
Finally.
I haven't seen a real pack of Pokemon cards in any store.
No, it's impossible. Not a pack. You can find you'll find the deck, like the pre-made deck, but nobody wants those pre-made decks because they're not loaded with anything that anybody wants, right? The cards are all there.
Even I'm surrounded by those vending machines that they have.
They're all sold out by us.
Yeah, they're all sold out. There's like 4 around me, and each one of them is sold out. Except today, I found one of them. It had one of those lunchbox tins in it. I was like,
nice. You should get it. Because you won't have a chance again. All right, Virender, you've been playing a big game. Tell us what you've been playing.
I've been playing the First Berserker Khazan, which is made by the Dungeon Fighter Online folks. So this is their first foray into doing something new and different. They're taking their IP and characters and doing very different things, because Dungeon Fighter DNF has been since like 1998, maybe. Yeah, like a long time, and it would consistently have so many players. Like, it's in Korea, so it's like millions upon millions, and then DNF 2 came out maybe 2011, and then millions upon millions of players. Like,
I think like in this country, the only one that ever got any traction was DNF Duel, like the fighting game.
Oh yeah. It is one of the best games I've played this year. One of the best games I've ever played. Actually.
Wow.
Like, it's a cel-shaded, stylistic Souls-like, but it also has accessibility, so there's arachnophobia mode. There's different accessibility modes. But the main one, it has an easy mode. So no more Dark Souls easy mode, discourse, blah blah. No, it has an easy mode, and it doesn't berate you or degrade you for choosing it.
So for people like me that are bad at video games, I can finally play it.
The voice actor for English, the main character Khazan, is Ben Brode. Sorry, not Ben Brode. Ben Starr.
Ben Starr.
Hell yeah.
So, yeah. That was announced like a few months ago, and I'm like, this is going to be the big game. This is going to be a big game. And everybody, we went through the recent discourse, was like, oh, Monster Hunter Wilds is too easy. And then I want everybody to play this, because it's not easy at all. The way they do, there's so many amazing, smart things they do in this game. So when you fight bosses, like actual big bosses that have like big health and that sort of thing, monstrous ones, even if you die, you get in Dark Souls you have souls. So in this one you have Lacrima as what you use to upgrade your stats. So Lacrima itself, you'll earn for killing any enemies or finding here and there. But when you're fighting bosses, you gain additional Lacrima from how well you do on the boss, even if you failed and died from it. So you're always able to get little by little. So before you die from a boss, and then it'll respawn you like right where the save point is, which is very much near the boss itself. And then you can pick up your Lacrima, the one you had because you died, and then you gain additional because of how well or how far you went with the boss. So you'll always be gaining maybe like 600 to 1,000 each time, and like let's say you already died 3 or 4 times already, you'll be able to then upgrade a stat. You'll have enough accumulated because of that, like insurance, because of how well you did. Even though you didn't kill the boss or you only got it to half life or even like 25%, you still get accumulated experience through the Lacrima that you can use to upgrade your stats. And that is so smart. Like it's my favorite Souls-like. It's such a smart and ingenious way, because I know a lot of people will be like, yeah, learning this, you can only learn the attack patterns of bosses so much, right? To try to improve. But like and even though the stat upgrades are very negligible, like point 0.4% to something, it still like matters and builds up. It's a gorgeous game. I'm playing it on PS5. Absolutely gorgeous. The second boss fight is against the Blade Phantom, and it's just the coolest fucking shit. Like the music, the audio, it's such a cool game. Even with the skill points, so you get 3 different weapons. Great sword, spear, and like a dual blade sort of situation. And each of them have skill trees. But then let's say you're in a run and you're like, oh, I'm not feeling the great sword anymore. I want something a bit faster. Then you can just like take off all the skill points, put them in the spear skill, and just switch spears. And also, the way equipment works is you just find it by killing enemies. Chests is, of course, a thing, but they're just random drops and random loot. It's not an open world Souls-like similar to Elden Ring. There'll be like 1 or 2 different paths to like navigate, to find a few things here and there, but there is always just like one way to push forward. And it is such a satisfying game, even though if you die a lot or the combat, it is incredibly satisfying on what you're doing, how you want to go about building the character. Do you want to put more in stamina or health? And even the types of weapons you upgrade or add. The bosses are incredibly iconic. It's one of the best games I've ever played, and it's one of the best games I've ever played. Like I can't not recommend it enough. And then people are like, oh, but I can't play Souls. Like, well, there's an easy mode, so like so do it up. The story is interesting and compelling as well, and them just taking this character and just taking their world and like actually like, making a fully fledged Souls-like experience. It's an action adventure game with stamina and all these nuances and quality of life changes that are now better for Souls-likes in general because of it is such a big... I hope more studios understand that, like accumulating points after you died from a boss. That's a big thing to have in your game, and it's there's side quests as well here and there, and it's very cool. It's very awesome. It's very cool. It's very stylized. This is their first endeavor trying to do something like this, and it's fantastic. It's absolutely great.
All right, you've sold me. This is one of my favorite aesthetics in video games. Yes. This like 3D cell shaded, like painted look to it, where it's just like it looks like it's a colored manga in a way. Ashura's Wrath had a very similar kind of thing going for it, and I just love this aesthetic so much, and I wish it was way more common. And it doesn't have to be like high fidelity either. It's like it's to its benefit being a little like so hell yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm about to say the same thing. Like this aesthetic is what is just it's drawing me in. Yeah, the actual action aspect of it, the gameplay aspect of it sounds actually really good to me. From someone who isn't the best at like Souls likes and even
I'm dog shit, man.
I'm totally fine admitting that, but this having that hook that you mentioned, but also this visual style. Like the snow looks so cool.
Yeah, that's a first level too.
So cool. I know, but it looks. I'm a big style guy because for me, the visual stuff is the very first the first thing I connect to in a game. Right, what I see is what draws me in, and I want to see more and see how like seeing the cell shaded with sort of the highly realistic snow, for instance, is really kind of a cool combination. So it looks beautiful. It looks great. It looks like almost like someone really wanted to have fun with an anime aesthetic, and it's great looking. Just the depth of field too that they're doing is nice with the darkness, and it's neat.
Yeah, it's absolutely phenomenal. It looks like I'm continually blown away by, and also when you would think it's the type of, since your character is like it's an established character, you would think like, oh, cosmetics wouldn't be a thing, but like any piece or equipment you put on will be what he puts on properly. So there is like a fashion sort of thing with that, and if you wear the same sets of clothing and equipment, you get additional bonuses like more health or increased quick attacks or that sort of thing. So you want to try and fit as closely as you can with those different sets and styles, so you can get upgrades as well. It's just continually phenomenal of what it tries to do, and it succeeds and improves just by so much. If you're shit at Souls, like it's there to play for sure, and if you're not, then it's still incredibly difficult and hard. But
I was going to ask that, how does the challenge scale up for folks that, as maybe even as you're going along, how is that difficulty, or I don't say difficulty, but how's that challenge spike?
So recently I beat like the third boss, and then I'm in this new area, and and the enemies just ramped up. Some of them were the same enemies from before, but now they're just like much stronger.
It's the blue version in Zelda right now.
Also, skill points from the skill tree, they upgrade. You get skill points by just being in combat. So, like, even if you're losing and dying from that boss, just like, blocking attacks, getting hits in, it increases the mastery. So then you can allocate into new skills, or have something like the greatsword, you can add a poise option so that when you're attacking with it, then it'll mitigate damage because while you're attacking. Or the spear is one of the things that's like incredibly, what makes it so realized and balanced is that every enemy in the world has their own stamina gauge as well. So some of them are purple that they themselves can't dwindle down when they use actions, but you can dwindle those down. But some of the bosses, the second boss, like has its own stamina gauge. So like you're waiting and blocking attacks for that enemy to be tired, so you can do like an execution move. So it's incredibly balanced in that sense, because like a lot of Souls likes do the thing where like, oh, you yourself are like barred from doing things because you have a stamina bar, but everybody else can just like do whatever the fuck they want. But it's
spam
like
whatever move they have.
Yeah. Well, no, not for this one. And
that's good.
Yeah.
I like that.
What were you playing it on?
PS5. Yeah.
Okay, PS5.
No issues whatsoever with it.
Oh, that's good.
Just it runs perfectly awesome and great.
Oh, sweet.
I made 2 save files too. One's a streaming one, which is Greatsword, and then the other is Spear. So that one, the Spear is more focused on destroying the stamina bars for enemies, and the Greatsword is more for power and damage and getting through attacks. And it is phenomenal.
All right, yeah. I've added it to my cart.
Okay.
Sales.
Honestly, it's cool. So you like when you die 3 times, it'll be like, oh, do you want to switch to easy? But it doesn't berate you with that, with like Wolfenstein or yeah. So it's
boo-hoo, little baby, you want to play easy mode.
I really don't want people to miss out on this. I think it's it is definitely the strongest new IP in the first quarter, I would say, in a sense, because they're using the world, but like this is like a huge, and they're just taking the characters and a little bit here and there. But I think it's incredibly strong push and forth to do this. And I really hope people don't sleep on it. And if they do end up buying it for sale, like definitely pick it up when you can. It's just a great experience all around. Like the blood on the snow is so.
I know that's cool. No, I was gonna bring that up. I haven't heard a lot of folks talking about it, only because Monster Hunter, came out of this month ago, and you have the Switch 2, and you have a bunch of other stuff happening, and it, just from what you're telling me, I definitely don't want people to be sleeping on this. But at the same time, I feel like this is going to be one of those games that people eventually find out about and start to circle back towards. And it's like, hey, there was this game. Oh yeah. Did you play Khazan?
Khazan. This feels like one of those things that just the right streamer is going to pick it up. And then
listen, that's SideQuesting. This is it. We're the right streamer.
Yeah, if only.
But no, this is. It looks great. I mean, it looks cool.
Yeah.
Sweet. First Berserker Khazan. This is it's Bandai Namco. Is that who makes this? Or
no.
I'm sorry, Nexon.
Yes.
Yeah. Sorry.
One thing that's cool is also there's a training ground, so like you can spawn enemies you fought to learn attack patterns or.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I keep saying like one more thing, and then I keep remembering. But
Ron Popeil over here.
Yeah, the Steve Jobs of games.
Since equipment is based on levels, so like, you'll get like Greatsword level 10, and then you'll get one that's 11, and sometimes it'll be a generic Greatsword, so you're just like, oh, +2 attack, right? So you can take any of the weapons or armor or anything, and you can dismantle them for the Lacrima, so you can then upgrade.
A lot of games are starting to do that more and more, realizing that you can pepper the world with weapons, but so many of them go to waste that you're starting to see it pop up more and more, where it's like, actually, you can just dismantle the weapon here in the field and get whatever are mana, Lacrima, Espers, whatever.
Yeah. So any of the weapons you find, even though like, oh, you already have better. One thing I like is the shortcuts here. Like this person, like they made the shortcut and then the save place is right here. So then,
cool.
they actually like traverse, like if they die on the way, that's fine because like at least they got to the shortcut.
Yeah.
And then
it's kind of got the Star Wars Jedi thing going for it
Yeah.
a little bit, where it's also a vaguely Souls-esque game.
Yeah, it is. So this will be the first boss in the game, the first proper boss as well.
So cool.
Oh, the destruction in this is like
Yeah.
really leading you to a boss fight. I like that.
I like it's got the tunnel right to it.
Yeah.
Sweet.
It's just a gorgeous game.
Nice.
I'm blown away constantly. Yeah, I hope people don't sleep on this. Difficulty is not an issue. It has a compelling enough story for you to push forward as well. And yeah, so this is the first boss, and it is good stuff.
And we'll leave people with the taste right there. Sweet.
I will say that also, if you play the demo progress will carry over to the full game.
Cool.
So that's a big,
Okay. That's good.
Yeah.
That's where I'm starting. I'm in my PlayStation queue right now, adding the demo in. So that's perfect.
So then,
get me started there. Sweet.
Cool.
Well, Viraender, thank you for sharing that with us. That is awesome. I'm like, I didn't know enough about it. Obviously heard about it. Didn't know enough about it. And now you telling me, I mean, obviously JJ and I, all of a sudden we've added our carts.
Yeah, it just came out yesterday.
That's cool.
Proper release. And it had a few days early access and this sort of stuff. But it came out this week. Very recently. I really hope enough people gravitate towards it. Maybe when it's cheaper or when they have the time, because season's about to slow down soon. April is kind of filled with a lot of things, but a lot of stuff in April is like re-releases, like The Last of Us for PC, Days Gone, just re-release stuff for the most part. But new IP,
it's the perfect time for a new IP. Really is the perfect time.
They're doing it.
Yeah, because this is. Yeah, for sure. Like I don't need to go through like this is the backlog time of year. Typically, stuff really isn't released around this time. Like we had Zelda a couple years ago, but then there really isn't a ton. Usually in like end of April, May. So I think it's great timing for this. So.
100%. Cool. End of March, they don't really have much to compete with. I don't even know
this year,
anything
especially.
else.
Yeah. Cool. Well, Viraender, thank you. Always a pleasure to have you on the show with us. We're gonna see you at PAX. We got a really cool. And we've got a chat. I'm gonna on the plan for the show. I've had a couple ideas already. Some surprises. We're gonna have giveaways during the show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I can't say what yet. But because we're still trying to coordinate and make sure we have enough, but there'll be
you're gonna run out if I repost it.
Oh, man, what's funny is like we at PAX East we gave away full on like boxed copies last year during the panel. And
we got a stack of copies of the I forget what the Meg's Monster
and Bear and Breakfast, all that kind of stuff.
Whatever that box, whatever they put out a compilation of all their games, and they gave us a bunch of those. I still think
it's cool. Yep. So we've got more giveaways this year planned. I may give away some of the swag that we've been, some of the review stuff that was sent to us. So that can be kind of cool. But 7 out of 10. The Furious 7 out of 10 as we look at some of our favorite AA level games, even some, licensed IP, whatever. We on the panel will chat and make sure. But we also keep it as a surprise. So Viraender won't know what JJ or I or anybody else on the panel has until they see it happen on the stage. And that's usually when JJ yells at me because I hear the Dolly, you're an idiot, or it could be Taylor. I think Taylor did that last year. Taylor got mad at me for saying something. But they're great. They're a lot of fun, and we definitely get a lot of the crowd into it. You know, the audience loves to participate and tell us their favorite games, and
they loved booing. I forget who it was last year. I think it was like Sarah,
it was
maybe,
full on booing. Yeah,
because like she like chose like Dungeons and Dragons, and
that's right.
Like OG, like it's like, are you?
And I think she's kind of right, because it really depends on who you're playing with. But she loved it. She like Dungeons and Dragons is great, but it is so dependent on the people you're with. So that's where my daughter is right now. My daughter's playing Dungeons and Dragons. So it'll be a lot of fun. Join us 3:30 in the Bumblebee Theater.
Oh, we have time, so I didn't know we had.
Yeah, they have our time. I don't know if we're on if they show us yet on the scheduling, but they're doing these. They're doing these rollouts. Yeah, they're.
The exhibitor.
Yeah. Just released the expo hall.
Yeah, I did see that. Yeah.
And that's not everybody. I know for a fact that's not everybody. I've been told by some folks that that's just every year they end up getting people listed at the last, like sometimes even the week of.
There's been times where we get at the show and there are people that are on the map that aren't there. And
that happened last year,
are there because like what was it last year? The EverQuest. They're not. The
they were.
RuneScape guys were going to be. But then we got to the show floor and they weren't there.
They weren't there. We were like, wait a minute. It was like a whole section, and then there were like stuff that just kind of showed up. And they weren't anywhere. They weren't on the map at all. Yeah.
Day 1, nothing. Day 2, the Sandland tank was there.
Yeah. It was like, oh wow. So, But we'll see there. You can find everybody in the SideQuesting Discord. That's where we love to hang out. You can find us also on the Blue Sky. There's JJ's handle, mine. Your Virender. Yep. The link is the link is in the show notes here for all three of us, and for Zach, thanks Zach for the split second you were on before your computer died or whatever happened. He had his review stuff to talk about. This is why we get a shorter show today. I love it. We'll just tag Zach in the next time, I guess.
You're just gonna have to do a special Zach show.
Yeah, I've done special JJ shows on several occasions. So and again, hop into Discord. It's always the best. Best ways to find us. You can find us SideQuesting TV on YouTube and Twitch. Rate, review, blah, blah, blah. It's always helpful. Comments. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your grandmother that you found a fun new show that she should watch. And maybe she'll learn something, and maybe she'll stop being racist. Who knows? With that said, we love you, all of you, everybody. We really hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, wonderful weekend. Virender, JJ, two of you have wonderful beards. I should say the third one has just a trash beard who cannot grow one. I'm very jealous.
You're gonna get one. You're gonna get one for the show.
I'm gonna try. I can't. It's just it's the patchiest. It looks like my lawn, which is dead. That's what my beard always looks like. But I love both of you. I love everybody that's been watching us. Truly. We all love each other. We're all good friends. And we can't wait to chat with you and see you on the next episode of the SideQuest. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. I'm trying to figure out which hand so I can click with the other one. Take care.